Hello, everyone, and welcome to Seaview Quantum Network. I'm your presenter, Daniel, and I'm here with producer Claudia Pareca. We are cosmic beings, beings of light. A single moment of your time is one of the most extraordinary gifts we could ever be given. We are honored every time that we receive one of those moments. We are honored, overjoyed, privileged, and humbled. We serve in your presence. Our shows are held on Mondays and Fridays at 12 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, 9 a.m. Pacific. At any moment, to participate on one of our shows, please call 805-830-8344 and press 1 to talk with the host. All podcasts are easily found in all social media and are available free, live, or on demand. To request a show, please write to Claudia Pareco, cview1111@gmail.com, or visit our website, cview1111.net.
Call for free at 805-830-8344 and wait in line or use Take My Call. And for $11, you can jump the long list of callers. Do so at www.paypal.me/PURECO/11 and then please PM or email Claudia Pareco with the phone number you'll call the show at cview1111@gmail.com.
Thank you, everybody. Today we have Light and Energy with Psychic Medium Ed. This is an international live show where callers can get psychic medium reading with Earl Ed Carlton, and sometimes he has a surprise guest. The show is open to callers, and we highly suggest using Take My Call. And now, let's bring Ed to the show so he can let us know what's new with him, new events, and ways you can connect. But remember, sometimes when you get a reading with Ed during his shows, you just want more. If you do, go to psychicmediumed.com and set an appointment for yourself. So, again, here comes Ed Carlton. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, Claudia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's always my favorite time of the month is to have this radio show. So, I'm honored that you guys are here with Claudia and I. And so it's been an interesting month, to say the least. This past year has always surprised us and wowed us in so many ways, especially energetically and emotionally as an empath. So, this month, coming this new year or beginning of this new year has been the same way. And so hopefully we thought it was going to settle down, but this month has not been energetically, it has not calmed down. And so it has been very, very interesting. And even last night, we had the full moon in Leo, and the full moon has always been, a very energetic time for, a lot of empaths or people who are very spiritual. And so, and for it to be in Leo is a very, energetic, fire, something that is, look at me kind of energy. And so you might have felt, an energy or, a lot of people who have had a lot of conflict in their life or, who at that time coming up this past week have had a lot of conflict, or people who have created conflict with them. So you might have had a lot of energy being thrown at you, or you might have felt it in you. So it has been a very interesting week, to say the least, So hopefully you have been able to roll with the punches, so to speak, and just kind of let it smooth off, run off of you. I know myself, I've had some, had some things with my own house, who have foundation issues and stuff like that. And when we have these things, you have to look at it in a spiritual way, and so we are, for me, I am redoing my own foundation on my house, but my house is an extension of myself. And so I look at it in a spiritual way, and I say, okay, I'm also redoing my own foundation energetically. And so what do I need to look at energetically that I have to look at and rework? And so there are some things energetically that I have to look at and build upon. And so always look at your stuff or your house or, because they are extensions of you. So when your car is not working or your house, it can be very frustrating, but try and look at it at a different perspective and say, okay, what do I need to look at? If it is your vehicle, look at it and say, okay, what do I need to move forward? What's stopping me from moving forward? And because they are extensions of us, do I need to upgrade my mobility? And so take it from that, and be gentle with yourself as you do it. So we have had a very interesting year. I'm not going to say difficult, but interesting year, because it has shown us a lot of things that we can change and work through. And this year is going to be just an extension of that. Throughout the year, it's going to get a little bit easier, but this is good for us. A lot of us have felt stuck in our lives, or feel a lack of progress, and so this uncomfortability is just going to help us grow. We are energy, and energy is meant to move, and so as much as we don't like this uncomfortability, this helps us move, and so we ask for it. Remember that. My mother always said, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. So it's not all bad. So I hope that explains a little bit of what we've been going through.
Yes, it does. And as you said, we asked for it. We created this. So let's just go with it.
That's right. And it's about perspective. Everything is about perspective. Look at it on the brightest side we possibly can.
Exactly. So are we ready for the first caller?
Absolutely.
Okay, so as we explained before, we're going to start with people that have used Take My Call. And this is the only way on any of Ed's shows or all of the others to jump the line. And you get to ask a follow-up question if you need it. So let's bring with Dawn to the show.
Hi, Ed.
Hello, my friend Dawn. How are you?
I am so happy to hear your voice, and you already knew that.
It's been a long time.
It has been far too long, and I miss you terribly. So your whole intro, I'm laughing because you kind of pulled a little bit of the rug out from under the question I was going to ask, because you addressed some of it without a doubt. My energy has definitely been stuck, definitely been wacky over the last couple of months. And so my question was of where you see my spiritual journey going with how this energy has been, of how to be able to free it up to be able to get back on that path better.
That's a good question, and I'm glad you asked that, because number one, that's why I do the intro, is because, if somebody doesn't get the opportunity to, ask their question, I want everyone to know that, it's not only what we're going through, everyone goes through this as a collective. And so, it's not only me telling my story or what I'm going through, we're all going through something very similar, and that's what we're doing as a collective. We're all growing together. It is my story, but, we all have that similarity. So, I'm glad you asked that. And I will tell you, a lot of what we call the light workers or the way showers are feeling that what you just asked, this feeling of stuck or not being able to see where their next step is. The beauty of being a light worker is we all have some sort of sense of what we should be doing next, or we may not know where it's leading to, but we have a little sixth sense of, okay, I know I should be doing this, or I should take this class. We don't know where it's leading to, but we feel the intuition or the guidance to take this, or the eagerness to take this class, or to follow this path, and so that's the beauty of it, and so at this point, and it started probably around November for a lot of people.
Yep.
And they feel almost shut off, like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't feel any inspiration or guidance energy coming in. And it's like, okay, I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what to do. And they almost feel, for lack of better words, closed or shut off, or I call it hermit, from the tarot card, the hermit. I don't feel like I'm connecting with other spiritual people, or even my close spiritual group. I don't feel like I'm in contact with them as much, or even if I talk to them, we're not talking about the deep stuff anymore. And so that's where, we almost want to seclude ourselves, and so we're, a lot of people are feeling this, a majority of people are feeling this. So there's a lack of sense of direction. And we are way showers, and we do like to feel that sense. But we're all feeling that kind of, okay. And at first it was rather scary until we all understand what it really means. As a collective, we can only go so high, but we have to wait for everyone else. Otherwise, we're too far ahead, and we are disconnected from the masses. And so this past year has been very difficult for the group, the collective, the group. And so we're so caught up in turmoil right now that we kind of have to slow down and wait for everyone to catch up. And we're not being punished or anything, but we kind of have to wait for everybody to catch up. And if you noticed, and this is almost just an affirmation, if you notice, a lot of people who are feeling this are being very choosy on what they watch. They're not getting caught up in the mainstream of the things that are going on. They're not getting caught up in the pandemic or the fear of the pandemic. They're not getting caught up in, the political stuff. They're just kind of zoning out. They're not getting caught up in that scary stuff. And so they're continuing raising their vibration. Well, as a collective, we're stopping that raising of that vibration because we're kind of getting in that fear energy. Well, as we're stopping that raising of that vibration, well, the ones who are not getting caught up in that are continuing raising that vibration. So there's becoming a huge gap in the vibration. Well, we are way showers, and we do have to continue to help the collective grow. So we're just kind of holding, a line until everyone kind of catches up, because we can't do the work for them. We've already tried doing work for other people, and it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
We've done that.
No, it doesn't.
We've all done that. It's a big lesson we've all learned.
Yeah.
And does that make sense?
It does make sense. And so I think what I'm hearing you say is just kind of right now, just kind of hold the line. And it's
be okay with the pause.
Yeah. And if there are different things that, different courses that are popping up, or different, free webinars, whatever they are that pop up that are catching my attention, just still go ahead and follow that, but don't worry so much about going ahead, and just right now be in that space of that pause.
Yes, and this is a true, we always talk about being present in the moment, living for now, being, present in the moment. And I think we are really trying to focus on that, but this is really, this is completely different about being present in the moment, because even though we try very hard to be present in the moment, this really is, there is only this moment. And there feels for lack of better words, a lack of a future. And that sounds dramatic, but, because you don't know what your future looks like. And we still do, and we still can see it, but, it doesn't feel as solid as what it used to be. And so that's where it feels rather, as a way shower, it feels like, okay, I don't see the solidity of it.
You hit the nail on the head.
And so my point of that is be okay with that. You're going to see it. You still know what your purpose is. You still know what your mission is. You still know what your guidance is. You still know that you want to be, help people spiritually. You still know you want to, be a light worker. You still know you want to take certain classes, and you still want to help, be an intuitive counselor. But what that looks like in the future is altering and is changing, and that's why you don't know what that looks like. So it's time for you just to take your time and enjoy it. And what do you want to, so take the free classes and enjoy that part of it.
Okay. And that's exactly, you hit the nail exactly on the head with it, of that I feel like that clarity has very definitely been missing. I felt like I had it at one point last year, and then with everything that transpired that you're aware of last year between job losses and whatnot, that clarity just, like, I feel like the channel got changed to a snowy, to like the old, for those of us who are a little bit older and remember having fuzzy TV sets. When you would change the channel to one of those TV stations that didn't come in clearly, that's exactly how it feels like.
Yes, and that's what it feels like for a lot of people, And I think I don't think that's a bad thing, because I've always said, I'm a teacher at heart. I'm a mentor at heart, and I always say, when my job is, when I'm not needed, then I know I've done what I was set to do. When everyone feels like they can tap into their own healing and their own guidance, then I feel like I have served my purpose, so to speak. And I hope this is what it is about. People are doing their own self-healing, and so that gives me hope.
This makes a lot of sense, and it's actually, I'm so glad that I was, again, universe at work, spirit at work, that I was able to call in today, because literally, like, this helps me feel like I can breathe and knowing that I'm not alone in feeling this, that there's a lot of us, and that right now what's happening is okay and it's normal, and that basically I'm stressing myself out, and I can just let it go. And so
absolutely. And that's why I said this, but I will tell you this, you are still on the same path. You are still, you are still going into the spiritual, what I call realm. You're still going into helping people and guiding. And so continue, having fun with that. That's the most important thing.
Okay. I love you.
Okay.
Thank you
I
so
love
much.
You too. You're welcome. Thank you
Dawn.
so much for calling in.
And Ed, it's like all the framework, or all the everything that we had before to understand life has changed all of a sudden, and now we're like, oh, how do I explain this? Oh, so because we don't have a reference, which in a way is liberating if we understand that we are creating everything anew, and there's nothing that we have to base our new beliefs on.
Absolutely. And I would go back to the story that I was telling. Literally, my house, the foundation on my literal house is being reworked, and I know spiritually, my energy, but also my spiritual work is changing, and how I'm going to teach people will be changing, because we're all getting such what I call a download, and so we're all going to be so much more open, and the things that we've done will be, or the things that we've learned will be so much easier for us. And the people that I teach now get it so much quicker than when I started teaching. I would teach somebody something in 6 classes, and they get it in a class or 2. So, we're relearning our own foundation, and that's wonderful.
Yes, it is.
And exciting.
It is. So let's go to Georgia. Let's bring Sophia to the show.
Hi.
Hi, Sophia. That is such a beautiful name, Sophia.
Thank you.
And good energy, too. Matches the name. So, Miss Sophia, what can we do for you today?
I don't have a specific question. I am open to whatever Spirit wants me to hear today. That's it.
Okay. So let's just go into your energy and see what comes up, okay? So I will tell you, I love your energy. It just kind of opened up as soon as you said, thank you. Because gratitude is a big thing for you, and I will tell you, and I try not to go too personal on the radio show, but you have gratitude, like I said, is a big deal for you, because you have been through a lot, and so you appreciate the things that you have, So and you've gone through phases in your life that you have worked very hard to, you've gone through places that you have not had and that you have had. So abundance has come and gone in your life, is the best way I'll put it. So you value those things. And so I like that. And it comes with not only material, and I don't mean that, but, people, as well. And so, and I like that you value people as well. And so people have taken advantage of you, and, so I can tell that, but, you're very, very loyal. You don't have, you have good quality friends around you. So I could tell that as well. I'm going to go a little deeper. You're also very spiritual, too. You've got really good spiritual energy that flows through you. Very connected too. There is. You also have a male on the other side that is that it comes through, and he's passed with. I wasn't expecting to do a mediumship, but the chest area passed with he passed with something with the chest area, difficulty breathing in the chest area. Also, it was connected with the head. There was a so you have a gentleman on the other side who passed with the chest area. Had difficulty breathing, and it was also connected with the head. So the head, there's a thickness of energy. It was and the throat. The head, it was he still, when he passed, the symptoms of when he passed, he was still very cognitive, but he was kind of still, that thickness of energy. He was still very aware, but I'm going to say there's something with his mind. It could have been a medication that was making him a little, I don't want to say grumpy, but slowing down a little bit. but it's mostly with the throat and the chest area. Does that make sense to you?
I can't take it right now, but I am definitely noting it.
He feels like either a grandfather or father. I'm going to say more of like a grandfather.
Okay. I will definitely make a note of that.
Your grandfather's passed?
Yes, he has.
And did he pass with something, symptoms of when he passed? It was something with the chest or the heart area?
No.
He had medication. There was medication in his system?
No.
He didn't have any problem with either speaking or something in his throat?
No. And it could be another relative. I'm just not aware of it.
Okay. I don't know. That's it. I don't know who this guy is. I'm just going to move forward. Well, you have a gentleman.
I'll take it. I definitely made a note.
Anyways, so he's here.
Okay.
Anyways, do you have any? Let me ask you this. Let's take this a different route, okay? Is there something that you want me to look into your life for? Love or anything along those lines that you want direction with?
No, everything. I just normally like to check in just for maintenance to keep me in a good space. That's why I normally just stay open.
You are in a good space. I mean, you feel like you are, that you get your own guidance. And that's kind of where I started. You feel like you get your own guidance, and you do feel like you are very connected.
That is true.
And you can feel, and, you get a good sense. You have a very strong intuition. You have a very strong, and you follow that very well, especially with people. You can tell who to stay away with, and you could tell, you've got a good, people detector, so to speak.
That is true. I'm still always very nice, but I can pick it up and just know how to maneuver. That is true.
Yes, and you have a lot of protection and guidance on the other side as well. And so
that is true.
And you recognize that too. And you give gratitude and appreciate that as well,
That is true.
So
great reading.
I would like to know who this person is. So if you recognize those, please send me an email,
Okay.
Because this gentleman is around you a lot. I just don't know who he is. So thank you for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sophia. Sometimes, and it happens many times with readings, is that the information given will start making sense, and when it does, you usually go like, oh. So that's when we want to know. So call us back, Sophia, when you get that moment, because we love to hear from you. So now let's go to New Jersey. I'm sorry. Yeah, comment.
No, that's what I was just going to say. A lot of times it happens, especially with readings, on the phone or like this. We have such minimal time. If we could sit with Sophia, she might understand it a little bit more, or we could go in it a little bit more detail. But she does have, we would have more time to validate, these things. But I didn't want to spend too much time on it without, taking up the time. So. Hopefully, we would be able to get a little bit more clarity. So I appreciate Sophia being understanding.
Yeah, and call us back. And now let's go to New Jersey, and let's bring Carla to the show.
Thank you, Claudia. Hi, Ed. How are you?
Good. How are you, Carla?
I'm doing okay. Thank you. I don't have a specific question. I was just wondering if you could tap in and just pick up whatever Spirit wants me to know for the coming months ahead.
Okay. So let's see. Let's check, go straight into your energy and see you actually feel very good too. You know, you are. You feel like you do your spiritual work. You are very connected too, and very, very grounded. You know, you feel like you do what we call shadow work. You know, where you know and you trust your own guidance, and you know you're not afraid of your own self going in deeper and deeper and understanding your own healing. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
You're very good with energy and understanding energy and sensing energy. You're very empathic, and especially other people's emotions. Extremely sensitive to that too. You connect with people on an emotional level, and that could be very difficult. But your blessing and what I say, your blessing and your burden. You know, and I like that. And this past year, correct me if I'm wrong, but this past year has been been an interesting year, but it hasn't been what I say a difficult year for you. It's been an interesting year, but you know, for a lot of people, it's been very difficult because you are comfortable with who you are, and so. You have, for lack of better words, rather enjoyed the quietness of this year. Is that correct?
It was, yeah,
and I'm trying to use my words.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said, yeah, it wasn't that quiet, but yes, I didn't have it impact me as negatively as some others might have.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to use my words correctly because you know I don't want to say you've enjoyed this year, but you know, because it has been a difficult year. But you know, and that's how I could tell you really do. You know, you understand yourself. You know, and so this year, this coming up year, the reason I say that is because I just kind of wanted to validate, you know, your energy, and so this year, this coming year is actually going to be a very good year for you. You know, it's just going to get better. This next couple months are going to be better. You know, similar. You know, this next month is going to be very similar to what you've had, but it's just going to get better. And as the year progresses, you know, you're going to find even more comfort and more peace. And so you've done your hard work. You know, and so it's just going to keep progressing even better. You know, and so I like that. I like that about you. You're one of the souls that I find absolutely amazing, you know, that you do your hard work in the beginning. And so no life is easy, but you've done your hard work. And so your life just becomes more and more comfortable and for lack of better words, easier. And so you're going to find that this year becomes, and you know, waiting to reap the rewards now. Yeah, it's like you reap the rewards now, you know, it's like, okay, I get all this stuff done so that way, you know, I can benefit from it kind of later. And so you find your peace, you know, as you progress in life. And so this year gets much better for you.
I hope so. I do.
And that's kind of why I kind of went through the last year for you. So, and you feel a little bit more solid, you know, for you. That's good.
And you know, one time I was listening, I both are feeling kind of, I'm not saying this is the case of Carla, but some people, when everything is good and all around you is so bad, there's a kind of guilt that you feel of, okay, I'm happy, but how can I be happy when everything is going so bad? And I think there's a reassurance that it is okay to be happy. It is okay to be grateful. It is okay to have everything you ever wanted, because this is not the only life that we have had.
And I agree. And actually, both with Carla and Sophia, you could tell both of them have done their spiritual work. And this last year, we've all had our ups and downs, but this last year has been something that has been, I'm not going to say easy, but easier, because, you have done your spiritual work, and we handle situations, that are maybe difficult, but not as stressful for us in many ways, because we don't get caught up in the energy of it. And so, with Carla, Carla's been through stuff, and she's been through a lot. And so, and she's ready, she's ready for a vacation, so to speak. And so, she wants to know, okay, what's going to happen. So, her life is, no life is easy, but she's ready. She's ready to say, okay, I'm ready for my happiness. And she's worked very hard to earn it. And that's where I really want to say I validate that,
It is her time. Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now let's go to New York, and let's bring Vince to the show.
I'm sorry, Vince?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Vince?
I'm not very good. And so I'm hoping you can help me. I had a policy at work, like a last chance agreement, because I got fired a while ago for something that was a situation that occurred that shouldn't have. But anyway, so moving on, they brought me back with a last chance agreement, so I have to be good for a year, no write-ups. Well, the other day, they suspended me. They're blaming me for something that was not my fault. So right now I'm under suspension, and it could go either way. They could either reinstate me if they don't find it that I was at fault, or they could fault me and fire me. So I'm wondering, and the union is involved, so I'm wondering if you see them reinstating me, or what's going to happen.
Yeah, this is a very tricky situation, and I'll be honest with you, Vince. I'm not saying this is your fault or anything like that. You're the only one that's going to be able to say that. But it does look, and it feels like they are almost looking for ways to not get rid of you, but they are looking for ways to, cut corners and stuff. And so you do have to be very, very careful. It's almost like they're, and I don't mean to sound like a conspiracy theory, but it feels very much energetically that they're looking for ways to get, they're out to get you kind of thing. So make sure that union rep is very much on top of things.
Yeah, they are. They already spoke to the legal department in case they do let me go, because the legal department already told them that I have a really good, strong hand in this whole situation.
Are you assigned a very specific legal rep?
No, but the union already has a legal department that's already involved. So everyone is on standby right now, because they said it'd take at least a week before they make a decision, pending investigation.
Because what it feels like is like everything is done. They just have to make this decision. Is that correct?
I don't know.
There is no discussion or mediation. It's like they've got everything and they just have to make this decision. Is that correct?
Well, they have to find me at fault. That's the big issue, and that hasn't been determined yet. But The other thing is the union rep told me that they have to prove that I violate policy, which is not the case at all. I followed protocol right to the letter.
Whew.
Now, the one good thing that I have going for me is all my supervisors and my bosses love me because I'm a very hard worker and I work a great deal of overtime, and I'm always there when they need me.
Yeah. I will tell you, this is really right down the middle, and so you do have a lot of things going for you. And so keep on the positive thought about this, because this is really right in the middle. You do have a lot of support around you, and that's what's keeping you there. And then you have corporate that is really trying to, not only just you, but trying to cut ends in so many different ways, because this corporation feels like it is hurting in a lot of ways, and so they're trying to cut ends. And so you've got the big people, and then you've got the people around you that are trying to really work with you. So, you've got two entities kind of working and fighting for the same thing. But, it feels good for you. So keep the people around you, close to you, because they're fighting for you. So stay very positive with this. And it feels like a good outcome as long as that stays, in your ballpark. Okay?
All right.
And you'll be in my thoughts and prayers.
Thank you, Dan.
Thanks.
Okay, so now we're going to go to Ohio, and we're going to bring Patricia to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Fine. I'd like to. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. What can we do for you?
I'd like to know, will it help me in any way get some resolution if I contact a local TV consumer reporter here and report the pest control company and tech who came in and the on-site management here in November came in my apartment. I wasn't here. Sprayed. They came in for the monthly, but sprays my mattress, which is on the other side of the room, and I never take spray. And then on top of that, when I come home, I put the key in the lock and the door pushes open. He had not pulled the door to close it, which would have locked it. Of course, I contacted the on-site manager who lives on this building site, and she's done nothing. And then I called the pest control company, and some person there is saying, "Oh, well, we don't spray, furniture and so on and so forth." I'm telling him, I see the spray marks on my mattress, and was on the other side of the room. Basically, no one is taking any responsibility. Now, I do plan to move fall of this year, and the time that I've lived here, it's been mixed. But yeah, this on-site management, they play their favorites, and
yeah.
But yeah, so and of course, part of this, I'm just fed up with people who do wrong. They're not being held accountable, and they want to, portray themselves as so, moral and ethical and so on and so forth. Anyway.
Yeah, I can feel your frustration, and so what I really feel, what I can really get is, there is no, and I can understand that you can see these, these marks where they have sprayed it. It doesn't feel like you have the actual camera or proof because it's been so long that that you won't get the equity or the value of the mattress or anything, and so there won't be anything that will be that you won't get the money or anything that will. You may get the satisfaction, but nothing will be done about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I mean?
Sure, and I'm just preparing to relocate and move. So.
Yeah, and that they're not. I completely understand. They're not taking what they have done or what you. They're not taking you for. You should definitely move, because they're not taking you seriously, or, and so that's what I think is most frustrating.
Yeah, it's been an experience here, and I really understood energy as when you're living in cities and states and places. And this town here, Cleveland, Ohio, is just, the energy here is so foul and negative.
Yeah.
And just,
and when it comes to your own personal space, and somebody comes in there, and even if they're doing something like just, spraying your house, it's an invasion of your own personal energy, and that can mess up that vibration. So that can be very hard to reset it back to where you want it to be.
And sometimes, Ed, when something like this happens in your life, it's like what in the beginning of the show you were asking us, why is this happening to me? Why is it showing in my life? Why is it going into my foundation, which would be your house? And the answer could be exactly what you told Patricia. It's time to move. And sometimes it's only until things like this happen that we make something about it. So the universe always works in a loving way, even though it doesn't seem so loving, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Patricia, you have stayed there much longer than you should have. And for one reason or another, maybe it was money. Maybe you didn't feel like moving or want to move because it's such a stressful thing. But you need to feel comfortable with the property management and everything else. And this just kind of puts you over the edge where, okay, I want to move or I need to move. And, this is going to be a good move for you. It's going to be a wonderful move for you. And so this is the time for, like me, rebuilding my foundation. It's the same thing for you. This is going to be a better move for you, and you're going to feel wonderful and create a good energy and a good foundation for you. So think of it as a wonderful thing and a clean slate. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Ed. Okay, so we have time for one more person, probably two.
Perfect.
So we have this space, Colorado, California, or New York. Which one calls your attention, Ed?
Colorado, please.
Okay, so let's bring Laura from Colorado.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Well, what can we do for you today?
So I totally resonate with everything that you're saying, like loss of direction kind of, and you're trying, and you feel like you're not breaking through kind of, and that's kind of how I'm feeling. But I really am trying to put my nose to the grinder here, and I'm just wondering what you see as far as work is concerned for me.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, work. Humanly, we have to make a living, right?
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately.
Sometimes spirit, it's like, okay, spirit, but I've got to eat.
I know. Like, come on, people. Get it together. You're killing me. I talk to them all the time. I look up. I'm like, really, people? Get it together. Like, come on. I need something here. I'm sure they're like, really?
I know. let's all just get on the
You
same page.
got to laugh or you're going to cry, right?
So I actually get that, and I feel that with you too, because I do feel like you have a very good sense of direction. You know, we have to have this spirituality and this comfort, but we also have to live in this world too. And so you're very, I say, organized and very analytical in a lot of ways, you know, but you're also very spiritual. So you always try and plan 2 steps ahead. I can feel that in your energy. And so you're a list person, you know, and you try to be very organic, but you always kind of like to say, okay, I'm going to go here, 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 here. And so this has really kind of ruffled your feathers too, you know. I can tell that as well. And so I do think you're doing everything you possibly can. And what I mean by that is you're not just sitting there and kind of waiting for a sign. You know, you're looking, and you're trying to do everything you possibly can. The reason I'm telling you this, because I'm validating that you're not just kind of, you know, sitting around. You're looking in the right direction. You're looking in the right places, you know. So, you know, sometimes I feel like you're missing like some spot, you know, but I do feel like you are, you know, you're looking in, you know, online, you're looking in, you know, these places that you're supposed to. So I don't feel like it is any of those. And I also feel like you're going to stay in Colorado. And I do feel like it's going to be somewhere close and local. Okay. Wait just a minute. I'm going to kind of take that back just a few seconds, okay? Okay. And the reason I say I take that back, because you are looking local and distance. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, we just moved to Colorado, so we're not going to stay forever. But I'm looking in Colorado, but my husband travels all the time, and we will be picking up and moving. So that's probably what you're picking up.
Okay. What do you do for a living, may I ask?
So I was just a part-time sub for the schools.
You're not looking to do that, are you? Because it feels like you're changing that.
Well, I honestly love the little kids, but I'm just bored out of my mind, and so I was thinking about like working with the homeless or doing some type of outreach, like some type of like helping people type of deal. But when I go to look in, it doesn't seem like I can ever get a break. Does that make sense? I have my bachelor's degree.
You know, because what it really does, you know, and the reason that I'm pausing, because it does feel like you are doing a for lack of better words, a lifestyle change. And I would go even deeper, not even just the outreach programs. You know, I would go more into, and I know this sounds funny because you're going to have a little bit of resistance when I say this, okay? I would go even to the government programs, you know, social working, you know, and you're probably going to say, I don't have a social worker, you know, degree or anything like that, but I would go into that because that's where it kind of leads into that more of the children, even social working in that aspect. And I'm not talking specifically into social working, but it's along those lines, and it still works with I'm going to use the word underprivileged, you know, and the people who need that. And so it works with the government, but it's also a foundation. It's more of a, you know, so it's, and this is an example, and so you'll understand this because I don't know the exact words. My son is adopted. He was adopted when he was 5 months old. Okay, he's 14 now, but you actually go through the government, but we went through a private adoption agency, and that's what it feels like, the more of like the private department, a nonprofit private department that also works with the government. So it's like the, that entity.
Okay.
So
okay.
It's so it works along the lines with the government, but it's a nonprofit that is that works with, that kind of works with the government, but it's not the government. So, and so that's where it feels like it is.
So do you have any idea of a timeline for this?
And I will say, so it's like you're going to individual, it feels like you're going to individual branches, and that's going to take you a long time. Go to the main branch, go to the government, and they will give you, specific places to go.
Okay.
And so instead of going to, each homeless shelter, you can go to the government, and they will tell you which homeless shelter to go to, and so you'll be able to hit them all.
Okay.
And this will speed up your timeline.
Okay.
And this will take just literally, it's February now. This will take you a month and a half.
Okay. Okay. Well,
you
God,
thank
you so much. Yeah, no, I do, because if you go to a government agency, if you walk in, they have pamphlets. They even have, you can. There's places, there's outreach places that you can go. So I understand what you're saying, and they have them all right there.
So that's what Spirit's saying. Instead of walking the city and going to each one of these, Spirit's saying, okay, you just go to this and grab all these, and you've just saved yourself weeks.
So go to the main office in the government that deals with all of those homeless places, correct?
Yes.
Which we don't know what the name is, but probably if you Google, you'll find it. So we have reached the end of today's show, but you wanted to mention something else?
No, I'm good.
So, Ed, are you going back into seeing people in your office? Are you doing things online? How can people get on one-on-one with you?
So, yes, I do. I have readings virtual, via Zoom, FaceTime, or phone. I also have an office here in Charlotte that I have. I'm working, minimal hours, because of the pandemic, but I do, and you can go to psychicmediumed.com, and you can click on the link, and it will take you to the automated scheduling system. Also, if you go to Facebook, under events, I have some events listed that I am, that have my monthly events. I do also have a Valentine's Day that I just set up on Facebook that's not even on the website, and I did it a couple of minutes right before the this, it's a Valentine's virtual reading with a team member of mine, psychic medium Caitlin, where you'll have both of us on a virtual reading for 15 minutes. You'll have both of us doing a reading with you, via Zoom, or FaceTime or phone. So you'll have two psychics for 15 minutes. And so that is on Valentine's Day, and so you can sign up, and it is listed on Facebook.
Thank you. So, and remember, Ed is coming back the last Friday of every month. So February, he's going to be back on the 26th. Again, always try to use Take My Call. That's the best way to assure that you're going to be on the call. After that, if you're a first-time caller, your chances are very nice. And we apologize to anyone that wasn't on the show today, but we, as you could see, we were pretty full.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and hope to see you next month.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.